Don't hate.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Shan Ferdinand here with Carrie Ferdinand, Karima, and Royce. This is Black Lion Live. We're here talking real estate, local events, and everything in between. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Carrie Backbone here. Listen, check it out. I want y'all to know we came in here today and it was hot. It was hot, hot, hot in here. Now it's cold. So if y'all see me start bundling up, man, I want y'all to know that's what happened. I came in here, it was like 90 degrees in here. Now it's
Sweat
Arctic.
pouring off his head.
So, hey, listen, today is May 9th, and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. A couple things happened this weekend. So let's talk about what happened this weekend. What'd you do this weekend?
This weekend was actually uneventful for me. I played a little bit of tennis and
Are
went
you
to the.
good?
Am I good at tennis?
Yeah, are you good?
I mean, I can swing the
You're
racket
not
and hit
good.
the ball. Hater. I played tennis
Uh-huh.
and I went to my sister's 48th birthday party. Happy birthday, sister. So that was it. Anybody do anything eventful this weekend?
There was an air show. I know Karima was at the air show. She's back there holding the mic, smiling about the air show. She showed pictures. So, what happened to the air show? Anything?
Or the planes did the twisty turnies and the backflips and
The twisty turny thingies.
listen, the Thunderbirds, they were
Uh-huh.
amazing as always. I've seen them a couple times. They had a whole bunch of stations set up for like kids and a whole bunch of food. The food was expensive and wasn't even good. First off,
I mean, you're eating off a truck, right?
it wasn't a truck. It was like a stand. It wasn't a truck. It was a stand, like a
Well,
whole
I mean, you don't
long.
go to those places for the food. You go for the
I didn't know it was gonna be $60 for two things.
Mm.
man. Listen, you ain't do the old school joint where you pack it in the bag first, show up with
In
the
the
book bag,
cooler, I
and you
didn't
got the
even think about
snacks.
it. Didn't even think about it.
Oh, listen, we gotta get your hood card up.
Didn't even. I was on the Air Force Base. I wasn't trying to be, a, a hood booger.
I mean, everybody know you Army, so they expected that from you.
With the booger.
A hood booger. When we were walking in, I guess they just let anybody on the base. They didn't really check IDs.
Interesting.
National security wasn't a thing, but
I
this
mean,
weekend, I guess.
I don't know.
Interesting.
So not even some fried chicken. You ain't even fry up some chicken before you went up in there. Some cereal, something.
Mm-mm.
Not even one juicy.
I brought a
Well, not
water.
even one juice box.
I brought a water with me that I gave to my son.
Yeah, you failed that mission.
I remember when we were little and we went to events like that. My mom would make deviled eggs, put them in a little Tupperware, fry up some chicken.
Yo, you was the family with that the family broke out the foil, the foil.
Absolutely, that was us. When we went, even when we went to Kings Dominion, Busch
Oh,
Gardens,
I
my
got a cramp.
parents they were
Oh,
they weren't buying
I
that
got a cramp
food.
just that fast. Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't paying all that money for that food. Everywhere, everywhere.
All right, so what else happened this weekend? I didn't do much. I can't even remember what I did this weekend.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
I'm getting these cramps now. These old man cramps. Oh my god.
You
I'm
need to stand up.
no, listen, I'm gonna work through it. So if y'all see me moving, I'm working through these cramps. Oh, by the way, we fixed the chairs again. So if whoever was on here that said we had these uncomfortable chairs, we upgraded. Thanks, Creamer. So we did the upgrade. Um, any other events that happened? I know it had to be more than. So we had the fair, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I went out to the carnival. I think it's here through the 14th. Yeah, the one in Newport News off of what's that, Warwick,
That is
in the old Kmart parking lot.
yeah, Oriana and Warwick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm?
Mhm. Well, see what had happened was I parked and I went in, but then the way people would park, my car, I was afraid that my car would get blocked in. And so I was like, if anything pop off, I need to be able to get out of here. So I didn't stay. 'Cause, but it looked like it was a good time.
All right.
But it's out there through the 14th. I believe that's what the sign says.
And while we talking about it, any good food?
Yeah, Rosa's.
Because I know we got the hater in the background that went to the air show that didn't get any good food, so we gotta cover that up. We don't want people watching this to think that Newport News. Well, that was Hampton.
That was Hampton.
That was Hampton. Yeah, Hampton. Food's horrible. Newport News. Food's great.
Yeah. We ate at Rosa's. What was that, Friday?
Yeah. So
Saturday?
for those that don't know, shout out to Rosa's
Authentic
authentic
Colombian.
Colombian food. And listen, it's banging. It's
Hmm.
banging. So definitely get out to Rosa's.
What'd you have?
Listen, I can't speak Spanish, so what I am not gonna do is tear them good people's language.
What was it in English?
Um, it was rice, um,
Egg,
sausage, egg,
chicken,
um,
beef.
chicken, beef. I mean, it was a nice sized plate, and it went down. I definitely went to sleep afterwards.
And I got what I always get is rice and beans with some shredded chicken and plantain and Colombian sausage. Oh my goodness. That
Hey,
combination
listen,
is
that
just
Colombian
oof,
sausage, I don't know what it is, but it's crack.
it's amazing.
Chase it down with a whiskey sour. I'm not a drinker, but I heard a whiskey sour goes good
Mhm.
with it. So
So if y'all are ever in Newport News, stop by Rosa's. It's off of Warwick and I think what's that
and hold
Temple
on,
Show?
somebody look up the address real quick because you definitely gotta go check them out. Anybody. Um, I guess I do it.
What's it called? Rose's Cafe.
Yeah.
It ain't I mean, I'll try to look it up, put it on the screen. It's not.
Yeah, let's definitely get that up there because Roses is
Is
definitely that spot. So if you are into Colombian food, man, even if you're not into Colombian food, definitely get down to Roses and listen. They don't even know we plugging them right now, but Roses is definitely banging.
and try the it's a lemonade with coconut milk in it. And oh my goodness, the bestest drink ever.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
bestest.
our guy Julio from the right staff put us on to that. So definitely check that
Yeah, if
out.
you need a cleaning company too, check out the right staff.
All right, so what else is going on in the news? We were talking earlier about what was that shooting
The
that
one
just
in
happened?
Texas, the what was it, Glen Allen Mall, Glen something Mall.
I'm gonna have to look this up. So and I want to talk about this real quick before I even get to looking it up. I'm doing too many things at once. That's why I got my man Royce in the background. He's gonna throw it up there. But the conversation is gonna be about guns and gun control. And I'm not up here to be a political activist. I just say we gotta do better with these guns and how we're using these guns and who has access to these guns, and really let's relook some things with these guns and who's getting them, and really, really dive deep into the culture of guns and how people are going out there and expressing themselves in their unhappiness with these guns and going out to these public places and putting people's lives on the line.
But how do you regulate that though? How do you regulate guns? What is the answer? I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, what is the solution to the mass shootings, the gun violence? Can you really solve that problem?
Well, I think your gun violence really comes from a place of wanting to be known, right? And people know that if I pull a gun in a public place, I'm gonna get known. And I think a lot of these people have mental illnesses, but I think that we also live in a society and a culture that is of violence. And until that violence gets curbed, then we're going to continue to have gun violence and this, that, and the third. I don't think there's anything wrong with owning guns. I'm a big Second Amendment guy. I love my Second Amendment rights. I own a couple firearms. However, there's something to be said about training people, talking to people, and making sure that we are addressing certain mental illnesses and not leaving people left behind and checking on your battle buddy means your friends and your people, but checking on your battle buddy and all that good stuff to make sure that they're okay because the people that are pulling these guns, it's not about the gun, it's about whatever they're going through at the moment. So for me, it's more about understanding these people and having things in place so somebody can cry out and get that. I don't think it's the guns.
Well, this guy from Texas, he's the last I read, he is affiliated with the Right Wing Death Squad, which is a an organization out of it's another country. I don't even speak. I don't give the wrong
Yeah, let's get
information.
facts before we
But
jump out there.
no, yeah, but it was they found something on his person that indicated that he was affiliated with Right Wing Death Squad. I don't remember what country that or originates from, but there's some whole political movement supposedly behind this. But I have to read more about that.
Now, where I'm from in the army, we call them terrorists.
Yeah,
And I think either your homegrown terrorists or your international terrorists should be dealt with accordingly.
I agree.
Because it's just an act of terror. When you come, not just to our country, but if you're homegrown, you decide that you want to go shoot up an ethnic group or a certain demographic of people, you should be dealt with like a terrorist
Yeah, it's not. It's
all day, every day.
It's unfortunate. You know, you have to think twice about leaving out your house, go to the mall, to the grocery store. You know, or be concerned about your safety or your family's safety when they leave the house. It's unfortunate.
So some years ago, there was a shooting in Columbia, Maryland. That's where I'm from. And if everybody knows Columbia, Maryland, you know Columbia, Maryland is it's not that life. You know what I'm saying? It's the furthest thing from that life. It's like the melting pot of all melting pots, right? And I had my kids with me, and we were supposed to go to the mall that day. And for whatever reason, last minute plans changed, and there was a shooting in the mall, and you're not really safe anywhere. And that's the scary part because when somebody decides that they're going to do something, not much you can do about it.
Hmm.
Not much you can do about it. So just protect yourself, be safe, and be aware of your surroundings. And not to keep going on with this horrible this horrible note, but moving on to the next topic. What we got next? What we got next, Karima? Karima's gonna give me the look. I'm gonna keep talking until Karima says something. Karima.
Next up, we got the small business highlight.
So small business highlight. So I can never say enough about Miss Bev and my events. I can never say enough about that. Plugging her. Other small businesses around here to definitely go check out is what's the place where you take all the pictures at?
Um, Selfie studio.
Listen, first and foremost, I gotta say this, right? If you're not in Newport News and you're not getting out and hanging out, hey man, everybody wants to go to that other side of the water. You know what I'm saying? The place with the little thingy. You know what I'm saying? Across the water.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to recognize them right now. I'm trying to bring light to my city. The thing with the water, and they had the water thing. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? The coasty thingy. You know what I'm saying? With a whole lot of water. People usually get in the water and splash around, splishy, splashy. Right? So not getting too deep into that because I really gotta listen. Newport News gets a bad a
A bad
bad
name,
turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reputation.
Yes. So let's talk about it, right? Downtown Newport News. And here's what we're going to talk real estate a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Downtown Newport News. If you're not invested in downtown Newport News, you're losing money already. I'm gonna tell you, if you're not investing in downtown Newport News, because there's a lot of opportunities. In the last year, we've seen houses go from 60,000 to we just comped a house that was over 400,000 downtown Newport News and what they call the bottoms in the number streets.
Yeah.
So if that's not telling you where Newport News is going, and I always shout out Newport News as a city, and the local government because listen, we are just better than them other towns that end with Smith and Mouth and you
I
know,
just I just showed a beautiful house downtown Newport News. I mean, 2,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, beautiful backyard, garage. I mean, it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area.
yeah. So definitely shout out again to the government of Newport News and not just the elected officials, but the actual city workers that are working behind the scenes to get things done.
Mhm.
But if you're not investing in downtown Newport News,
Definitely
missing out.
do it. Yeah.
And I'm slightly biased because I'm in Newport News. Our business is in Newport News. However, Newport News is definitely doing a lot of things that these other cities should be jealous of. So
And keep your
definitely come.
eyes, yeah, keep your eyes on downtown Newport News because I mean the transformation process, the transformation that it's going through or undergoing, it's going to be a completely different city in a year. They've got a seafood market coming,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. A wellness trail.
wellness trail, some mixed use buildings, some condos. I mean, it's going to be
Not
next.
gonna be. They're already doing
Yeah.
because the mixed use building is already up. They already opened up that working space.
Two
What,
five twenty
25 and J,
Mhm.
right down there on 25th Street. Piggly Wigglies is doing their thing.
Mhm.
They're bringing pharmacies
Yeah.
downtown. There are things that haven't been downtown, and they are really creating an environment of wealth, success for the residents of downtown Newport News. Um, and shout out and listen, everything in me is fighting to give this shout out. But shout out to Chief Drew of Newport News Police Department. He's doing an outstanding job. I mean, if y'all ever see Chief Drew, wonderful guy. And again, they're not giving me any money. This is no promo. This is just coming from the heart and love. But I I haven't seen a city where I've seen a chief that involved
Right.
in the city. I mean, the other cities around here, I think their chiefs are involved, but not like Chief Drew. So listen, big shout out to everyone in the city of Newport News for what they're doing and what they continue to do. I'm up here on the north side, but south side, midtown, big shout out, man.
And there is so much history. There's so much greatness in Newport News. It's a beautiful city. I come from the south side, and
The dark side.
I come from the
Oh my bad.
I
It's like
come
the
from
Twilight
South
Zone over there.
Side, and there was I heard bad news. Don't go to Newport News. You're gonna get killed. Number
Yeah.
this,
Wait,
yada
hold on.
yada
Do that again.
yada.
Do that again for Norfolk and the dark side.
But Newport News is a beautiful city. I mean, you've got the Nolan Trail, which is what 5 miles
Yeah, Nolan
around
Trail
the
is
ring.
gorgeous.
Yeah, around the Mariners Museum.
Hey, Big Saw, you been to Nolan Trail? That's horrible.
Gotta go.
All right, so for PT one of these days,
I don't participate in outside activities, especially nature walks. Any guy.
It is a nature walk
Yep, it's not
around the lake.
so all right, so when you think about going outside in a nature walk, right? Because I'm with you, right? You thinking the bugs, you thinking
Yes.
the animal. It's not
that
like
bad.
that.
Not that
I promise you,
You
it
can see the
sounds weird.
turtles.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's great for the kids. It's all around cool.
It is.
Them jokers from seeing you can see them running around there. It's a great mix of people. Everybody's polite. The dogs out there.
Mhm.
I promise you, you'll have a good time. I promise you.
And then the campus of Christopher Newport, which is not far from the trail, immaculate.
So listen, what we didn't talk about was you had an event at Mariners Museum, did you not?
The excuse me, the commissions and committees reception, where the city just honor the local citizens that serve on the boards. Um, and the mayor was there, the CEO of the Mariners Museum, he's done an outstanding job with that museum. It was a nice event.
So is it free to get in there, the Mariners Museum,
I'm not sure.
or is it? So
It's like a dollar on like Wednesdays or something.
so if you have an opportunity, definitely check out the Mariners Museum because they have a lot of young local artists with their art is being displayed. Then you also have a lot of good history and it's well maintained. Is really state of the art. I haven't been in the Mariners Museum in a while. It wasn't until Shannon invited me to go to this. What was the name of it?
Committees and commissions reception.
Right. It wasn't until I got invited to go there that I got an opportunity to walk around and really take time to see everything that was in there. And again, Midtown, because Mariners Museum, Nolan Trail is located in Midtown. And the cool thing about Newport News, so you got three sections really. You have downtown, Midtown, and Uptown, which is the Denby area. And each one of them come with their different
Oh,
highlights,
absolutely.
pluses and minuses. So definitely check out Mariners Museum when you get an opportunity
If you're
because
in-
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you're into art, you have Mariners Museum, you've got the Ferguson Center, you've got Downing Gross. If you're into museums, you've got the uh, what is the museum?
So real
that I
quick, talk
love?
about Down and Gross because we don't talk about that too often. But Down and Gross has a lot of cool stuff going on, and you sit on the board, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So talk to us about Mariners Museum because not Mariners Museum,
Down
excuse
and
me,
Gross.
Down and Gross because you come home all the time super excited about Down and Gross and poetry night and this, that, and the third. And for most people, they don't even know that there's a poetry night going on.
No, they don't. So Downing Gross actually serves the community. They offer an opportunity for people of the community to come in and kind of show off their arts, whether it be dancing, ballet, poetry, painting, spoken word, any of that. Downing Gross gives the locals the opportunity to get those talents showcased. And on the second Tuesday of every month, they do have an open mic. It's free for the community to come in, and you can come in, with your rap or your poems or your music. Or, I mean, I've heard people who produce music, they come, they play their music. People who write poems, they come and recite their poems. People rap is such an awesome time. It is. I have not had a negative experience at an open mic. Y'all come out, check it out. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Downing Gross has a theater where they put on productions um, like The Lion King and Shrek. They have the kids of the
Shrek.
community. They have the kids of the
Can you tell me
community.
about Shrek? I didn't want to see
Yeah,
Shrek.
the kids of the community come in and they learn the script and they put on these plays. There's one coming up in May. It's called The Yard, and it talks about the history of NNS, Newport News Shipbuilding, and how African Americans played a role in the growth of the shipyard. I mean, Downing Gross is a great place.
So, Karima, now that you know that there's Shrek, are you going down there?
More of the yard.
Not for Shrek? Man,
Yeah,
I'm going for Shrek.
I'm not sure women. I think Shrek
You sold it already. Don't do that.
is past. It's gone. They've
I
already.
would have
put on
showed up
Shrek.
even if you told me we're going to go see Shrek, and I would have showed up. You
They-
ruined it.
And we just missed the Ella Festival where they honor Ella Fitzgerald. So yeah, check it out. I get excited talking about Downing Gross.
Listen, so again, Newport News is really that city. If you're into African American history, there's a lot of history to learn about downtown. S- A lot of people want to talk about, they want to go as far as Oklahoma and talk about Black Wall Street and this, that, and the third. When downtown Newport News was really doing their thing back in the 60s,
Absolutely.
late 60s and all that good stuff. A lot of great history, a lot of well-known families down there that Newport News just does not hit their scale or hit the radar as far as being that city. But it's a lot of excellence, African American excellence. There's a lot of culture all the way around. There's good history. I mean, there's some history to break your heart too here.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget we are still in Virginia.
Yeah.
So, um,
If you want to learn more about the history of downtown Newport News, check out the Newport News African American Historical Society, and they will educate you. They will educate you, tell you some things that you might be surprised about.
and I'm gonna plug Fort Eustis real quick because Fort Eustis also has a lot of history there. They got a little house with See, I'm gonna hit you with this. You probably didn't know this. They got a little house with Pocahontas. Apparently she stayed there, something like that. Her guy John. What was his name?
Smith.
John Smith. You know that? So right there by the triangle, you're at the triangle, right? When you look up on the hill, there's a little house right there that nobody knows what that house is for. Go over there and read that plaque. That's crazy, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, but nobody knows what that house is. As a private, I used to go up. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but well, it's done now. Uh, I used to go up there and peek through the windows. I don't know if they display it. I don't know what they do, but it's set up like back in the day. So it's interesting. Definitely interesting. All right, hey, Newport News. I just, there it is. If you're not in Newport News, dead wrong.
We were talking about small businesses. The business there's this
That's-
one
Yeah.
cigar lounge that I want to visit, but it's not in Newport News. Oh, it's not in Newport News.
Listen, our guys in the
In the back.
background. I want you to know, anytime we take a long pause, just know our engineers in the back making it seem like we're doing something wrong. like we weren't supposed to be saying something. You know, he got his legal clipboard out there saying we ain't supposed to be saying stuff.
Yeah, doing good.
It's not a Newport News. It's actually in Hampton off of Mercury, and it's called George. So I want to check that out sometime soon. Whenever I do check it out, I'll come back and report to you guys and let you know how it was.
What is the restaurant that opened up by Zaxby's that replaced Quaker State and Lou? Because I'm
Pot?
what is it?
Hot pot.
Did
Hot
y'all
Pot.
go yet?
I haven't been. Have you been?
Well, I'm going there for lunch today. I got one of my army buddies coming up there, and we're gonna go up there today. So I'm gonna check it out. So Hot Pot, was it Hot Pot 757?
Yep.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, we're coming. I hope that if y'all not watching this, I know we got a small following, but if y'all not watching it, we're gonna be honest about that review.
Right.
Listen, no matter how good or how bad it is, I'm gonna tell you it's the best food ever.
Well, bring us something back.
Not happening. You have to get the whole feel of going there. I don't want to steal from them. Like, how do you Grubhub one of the finest restaurants ever? I mean, it's a Newport News, so it gotta be the finest restaurant ever.
Put on for my city. Hey.
Yeah, right. I put on for my listen. Newport News, we go hard. Period. Point blank.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? I would say 757, but that is all Hampton Roads. We go hard. Newport News. All right. All right. What we got next? I'm gonna stop telling y'all how great Newport News is.
Next, we got the little restaurant. We got a little restaurant. What I think next.
So, y'all don't know this, but we're kind of going off the hook today because we were all late.
Dun dun dun.
No. What you got, Karima? When in doubt, just throw it out there. Hey, listen, if y'all don't say something, because I'm gonna start talking about something wild, and then I'm gonna embarrass people, and I don't want to do that. So there I was on Fort Eustis this morning, and I saw the overweight program, and it's good to know that the overweight program is still a thing.
Wow.
But when you get in there, do something, move around,
And he said move around.
and move around. Okay. And it should be because you got to rehab and we got to get you back out there, but you know the craziest thing? Never have I ever seen a fat Marine, an overweight Marine, or I shouldn't use the word Marine.
No.
I mean, if they're fat,
Emotional
seen them.
damage.
They probably get like locked away.
I don't know what happens.
It's bad for image, though.
I'm pretty sure that there is, but they probably make them change clothes or something at the gate. But I have never seen an over. I've never seen a now sailors. See now
Sailor
what?
in the Navy.
Yeah, once they start wearing this color uniform, it's downhill from there.
Most of them. Really?
Emotional damage.
Or Air Force.
You don't see Air Force, period. What we got? We waiting on you, Royce. You sit over
I know,
there
we got-
laughing in the background.
I was waiting her to do the questions. I mean, if we ain't got none, we got the real estate roundup. If we ain't got none.
Real estate roundup. What we talking about with the real estate roundup?
What's going on in the market?
Oh man, listen. So we just talked downtown Newport News. When we talk about what's going on in the market, man, it's get out there and purchase. And now's the time. You don't have a lot of startup investors because they're scared of rates right now, right? Rates are going up, or they're actually steady right now, and you have a lot of people that don't want to get in. So your millionaires and billionaires make money when other people aren't investing. So now's the time to go ahead and start acquiring property. And I would say that there's this weird thing happening. And as a real estate guy, it hurts me to say this, but there's this weird thing happening where depending on the price point you're at, it almost makes more sense to rent. And I hate to say that out loud, but we were running actual comps on a property over 600,000, and it actually made more sense if your family, you have a large family. It actually made more sense to rent in that situation. When you're looking at a 5 bedroom home, it actually makes more sense to rent right now. So that hurts to say.
Not overall, like just that specific situation.
Yeah, which is interesting because right now, so all right, let me tell you how it works typically in the seven cities, right? Typically, landlords know what BH is, right? So let's say your highest BH is what, 21, 22. That's your highest BH, and that guy's up here. So that's not your typical guy. So let's break it down to about 1,800, right? Um, but if you go out there, you buy a house 500, 600,000, 600,000, you're way above the BH, or I won't say I'll say you're well above the BH, right? So now, what do you do if you're renting that property out? Are there some executives in the area? Absolutely. Are there other people outside the profession? But most people look at the BH rate. Because they're looking at the BH rate, they typically price their house around BH. So what's happening now is that BH rate is a little bit off, where landlords are like, well, no, it's no guarantee at this price point. And that's just a weird place to be in, and it could be frustrating. And that's why I typically tell people, as you're building your portfolio, build it slowly but surely. Start with different levels. So you start at a lower level and then you start building up to those higher levels. But that's it's an interesting thing right now when it comes to how to invest and what's the best use of your money. Do I purchase or do I rent? Especially when you're talking about 2,100 square feet, 5 bedrooms, that
But
situation.
each situation should be, it should be looked at case by case, because just because in that situation it made more sense for them to rent versus buy, the next person may make more sense for them to buy versus rent. So
Now, yeah, yeah. So definitely that. But one of the things that we're talking about is, I like to lean on being conservative because I don't want anybody to lose any money. But if you're going to be in the area, say more than 5 to 10 years, let's say 5 to 7 years, I would say still purchase the house because you don't know what rates are going to be. If rates bottom out for whatever reason or something happens, definitely still jump in and buy that property. But if it's a situation where you're only coming through here because Hampton Roads as a whole is a transient area. So if you know you're gonna come through and only do 2 or 3 years, rent that house all day, every day.
right,
That a year or two ago, I would have said something completely different.
right.
So
And
that
then
that would be my advice.
you're talking in terms of, monthly mortgage payment, but
Yeah,
when you look at home ownership overall, the benefits, in my opinion, always outweigh, the cons of home
yeah.
ownership. Being able to leverage a house, the equity in the house, to get into other investments, or, again, the benefits of owning a home outweigh the cons, in my opinion.
I mean, all day, every day, especially when you talking tax rates, you talking about investment, you talking about taking leveraging your house for equity, all those sort of things, and longevity. That's definitely a great investment, but that has to be part of your planning and financial portfolio when you get into it, and that's why you come see a company like Black Lion.
Um,
Um, that's why you sit down and you talk to a consultant and really talk about your personal and your family goals at that
Absolutely.
point and decide how that's going to work. But overall, Newport News, Hampton, the seven cities, Williamsburg, Yorktown, all those guys. It's a healthy market.
mhm,
Taxes went up in Newport News here recently.
mhm.
Not to fret. Things it happens.
To me, I know that people don't like taxes, but to me, when your property tax increases, it's a good sign. It means the value of your property is increasing. So,
Now the dark side of the moon,
mhm,
right? And I had an opportunity to go to some of these council meetings, and the dark side of the moon is when we start talking about our elder population, which
yeah,
goes largely ignored a lot of times.
mhm,
When you talk about your elder population, you got to think about Grandma Susie and
on fixed
on
incomes.
fixed income,
Mhm,
right? And you have to be careful. not to tax them out of the neighborhood, because grandma, granddad, they've easily paid off their house. They're in a good financial situation, but now we're talking about inflation. Inflation's going up. Their benefits, especially when we're talking just straight Social Security, um, you're looking at their benefits moving. That's tough.
I
That
agree.
that's tough. On groceries just went up. There's medical bills. They're living a modest lifestyle. They're not out there balling. They're not going to work per se anymore. Not because they don't want to, probably because they can't.
Right.
And now we're pricing them out of their neighborhood, and that is a situation that's definitely a conversation, because we're looking at baby boomers and early Gen Xers starting to hit that Social Security age, and that's something that we definitely have to be aware of. And
That's another issue. Like we were talking about the guns. That's another issue that, you know, the question is, how do you combat that? Like, what is the do, should um the elderly after a certain age, should they be exempt from property taxes? Should their taxes not be increased? Like, what is?
so at age 65, um, across the board in Virginia, you could apply to have your taxes exempt
I didn't know that.
or reduced. Yeah, so you could do that. However, that's really not helping, especially when the local taxes and all that's going up. And again, we talk about inflation, and we're talking about things catching up. Um, how do you combat that? You have to be very, very aware, and you have to make a plan, a purposeful plan to move forward. There's not a one size fits all, because all elderly aren't the same, backgrounds aren't the same. We have military retirees, we have shipyard retirees. Their pensions are not the same. Their benefits are not set up the same.
And that's where the problem lies. Everybody's situation or circumstances are different. And so you have to, the government, the local government, they have to devise a plan that fits, you know, several sets of circumstances.
I mean, we can look at the government, but the government also needs smaller businesses, and they need people in the community to help with that situation as well. I can't, I'm not a proponent to put in the government's hand all the time. I'm a proponent of saying, what can small businesses do to help? And when I say help, I'm not necessarily give your services away, but there has to be a way, because as a small business owner, you're entrepreneurial, and you look out there and you look for ways to improve and make things better. So how do we make things better? How do we help the system where it's not a drag on the system? Because city officials have to make decisions based upon numbers and what's happening, and provide the best quality of life for everybody within the city. So that's a delicate conversation, because it's not a one size fits all, and some people are going to get hurt when a decision is made.
You make a great politician,
No,
my boy.
no,
You should consider running.
no. There's nothing about politics that I am interested in. Uh,
Politics, somebody's school board, something,
Something.
something make a difference in everybody's life.
right. So that's why I'm here, at Black
Go,
Lion.
Perry,
No, 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 not even a little bit. That is exactly the reason why I decided to get in business, because being in business allows you to be more long term. Your elected officials are elected today, and tomorrow they're gone tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, but ultimately, election wise, they could be making policies, this, that, and the third, but in the long term, your government officials, and that's a lot of stress. As a business owner or as just a regular person, you can stick the way and do your thing and not worry about your constituents and your votes and your this and that and the third. So no, I'd rather stick my lane and take the things that are important to me.
You said something important. You said that you don't like to leave those types of decisions to the government. And I often hear people complaining about what the government is not doing, but I'm with you. I believe that a lot of the solutions, they lie within the hands of the people of the community, and we have to pull together to resolve whatever issues that we have going on within our respective communities. So I agree with you on that.
So I would say this: everybody has a voice.
Mhm.
It's just how you use your voice. I've been in organizations and I've been places, and hell, I've probably been part of it where I use my voice or voices were used negatively to complain, not realizing those same voices that you use to complain
To make change.
are the same voices that can make change. So that being said, if you could open your mouth and complain about a thing, open your mouth, say something positive, and get out there and do the work,
Absolutely. I agree with you.
and then do PT in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Because it always comes down to doing PT in the morning. So if you're not out there stretching your legs in the morning, man, if you get some PT in the morning, I want y'all to know that that's an inside joke between myself and Miss Benjamin. Ooh,
Just do it.
get your Lizzo in.
Being overweight is fine too.
Love yourself.
I think Roy sent us the video of the day for our
What are we supposed
reaction,
to? Am I,
our blind reaction.
where is it at?
TikTok of the
He
game.
sent it to you.
Okay, so we got to look at this.
Mhm.
And if y'all catch this, it's gonna be easy. Are you putting it on the screen now? How you doing this?
Yeah, I'm about to let it on the screen. God.
5 don'ts in real estate. Number 1, don't neglect your phone calls and emails. I remember I was working with a buyer who was interested in putting in an offer on a property, but before they proceeded, they had a list of questions they wanted me to ask the listing agent. I tried and tried to get in touch with this agent. He was impossible to get a hold of. He returned my call 1 week later. And by then, my
Run me my money.
was just another problem. Number 2, don't skimp on photography and marketing because first impressions are everything and buyers will see the photos before deciding whether or not they want to book a showing when it comes to the property. But make sure your listing looks as impressive as possible. Number 3, don't be too salesy. People hate being sold, but they love shopping with friends. And plus, no one likes the smell of commission breath leaving. Number 4, don't be an order taker. You are the professional and you have access to information your client may not have access to. For example, if your client demands a list price for their property, it's your job to guide them and be direct based on the data that's accessible. And number 5, don't compare others' success to your own because you don't know the hardships, failures, and rejection it took for your competitors to get to where they are now. And we each experience life differently, and your journey is unique to you.
We good?
How I feel about that.
How do we feel
How y'all
about
feel
that?
TikTok. My fault, John. I had them watch it twice. My fault.
Listen. So, the one part that resonated with me that I started laughing when she was like, "Don't skip on the pictures." How many times do you go through the MLS and you see this joke in the background like this
In the
right here?
mirror.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And listen. If you're the owner, do you not look at these pictures?
I listen. I don't. Maybe they just don't care. I don't know.
No.
They have to. Like,
So, all right, out of that entire video, I think the point number 2 and 5 resonated most with me. What about
2 and
you?
5 were what?
So, in 2 and 5 was the part about the pictures,
Mhm.
and 5 is when she got real smooth when she leaned across that Mercedes sign talking about don't worry about other people's success.
Mhm.
I think it was a Mercedes, but no, it was definitely that one right there. I think number 2 was the funny one for me. 5 was really that thing because I know a lot of agents come in and they see all these people that are supposedly making all this money and they think that they're just gonna jump in the real estate industry and they're gonna make a lot of money without doing the work. and they jump in there and they have unrealistic expectations. They don't want to do the training. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. But then they're looking at somebody who's been. I'm gonna drop names. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop names. No, because it goes to what I'm saying, right?
I want you to sound
So-
effects. Drop the names.
I'm gonna listen. Y'all can delete it later if y'all don't appreciate it. But if you're live with me,
It's not.
huh? Well, no, he can record it, right? So there's a company out there called Greg Garrett Partners, right? Greg Garrett's been in the industry over 40 years, right? And first and foremost, salute to Greg Garrett being in the industry over 40 years, and any other real estate agent that's been in the industry 40 years. But understand this: you can't compete with somebody that's been in the game 40 years. Just jump in there, be 6 months in the game, and think you deserve your name on a building, your name on a sign. Let's keep it a $150. You got to pay your dues. You got to go out there. You got to do the work. And now, not to scare anybody, there are agents in the industry that have been in the industry 40 years, but they just hanging on to their license. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the agents that's been slanging and banging 40 plus years, and then you expect to drive the same thing that they drive. And you expect to live the lifestyle that they have. That's an unrealistic goal. You gotta go out there and do the work for at least 5, 10 of them years.
And it ties into one of those points, which is number one. She said, don't skip out on responding to your emails, text
Yeah.
messages. You got to stay in constant communication with your clients. I know often we find agents that are unresponsive, and that's just not how we do business.
Or better yet, and listen, if you are somebody that listed your house and sold your house, not sold your house, but you listed your house, do something fun. Use somebody else's phone one day and pick up the phone and call the number on the sign and see if they answer. Because a lot of times agents aren't answering the phone, and that's worrying that you have a property up for sale and then your agent's not answering, or they're not even calling back. Because I understand things happen, you can't answer all the time, but if they're not even calling back, that's a problem.
Yep. And number three, I think it was number three resonated with me. Don't be too salesy. People hate to be sold. I know I hate to be sold. I know when I'm walking through the mall and the people at those little kiosks, when they call me over to try to sell me the stuff to make my hands feel, I hate this. It just, my anxiety kicks in, and I just don't like it. And I would imagine that if I hate being sold in that way, other people do too. So, real estate is a relationship business, and don't build relationships for the sake of gaining business. Be genuine, and the business will come.
Yeah, listen. So I did say Greg Garrett earlier, so I do have to shout out my man Jeff Denty over what is it now? Momentum Realty. So big shout out. He's one of our mentors. So big shout out Jeff. He's been in the industry just as long. So definitely shout him and Ramon. Yeah. Listen, if y'all ever get a chance to look at my man Jeff Denty
On IMDb.
on IMDb, just know he's a real one.
Yeah, he met Tupac.
He's a real one. My Italian guy, he out there with Tupac getting it in. So definitely check out Jeff Denty and his wife Ramona. They are amazing people.
They're great.
They've been great to us. I say that. So while I'm dropping names, I want to drop those names, and while I'm still dropping names, because listen, real estate is a community. So I definitely want to drop LaShonda K Legacy Group. Who else is like? Oh, Tierra from B More. That's my girl. Flawless Realty. Who else we got?
Oh goodness. We've got Synergy with Jasmine.
Yeah, shout out Jasmine and Synergy. Who else we got? We got Onyx with Clavel.
Opulent.
Opulent Kit. Shout out. So if I forgot you, I'm gonna catch you next go around. But these are all great real estate companies. We all provide great services to different clientele. And don't be scared. Everybody thinks it's a big competition. There's more than enough to go around. So definitely check out those other real estate companies. But you're gonna come back to Black Lion.
Yep, absolutely.
But I'm gonna shout them out regardless. What else were we talking about? What was it? Yeah, so 3 and 5. 3 and 5 was it for me. Number 1 and what'd you say?
I said 1, 3, and 5.
3 and 5. What's number 4?
Number 4 was don't be a
Is that the salesy one? That was number
no, no,
three.
no. She was talking about don't be a order taker.
Oh, listen, for brand new real estate agents, she dropped some jewels in there about order taking and the salesy part. When I go on a listing appointment, I definitely do my homework. I definitely learn about the property, every property. There's not anything that an owner can tell me unless somebody's doing meth or something and something crazy. It has to be something wild for me not to know what's going on in
Right.
that neighborhood. But I have a general understanding. But I don't go in there salesy because I don't know what they want to talk about. I go in there trying to figure out what's important to them as listing. I try to figure out what the issue is, um, and how we could ease pain and to ease any anxiety. I don't go in there with the, you could get this amount of money, this, that, and the third. Let's figure out what it is and why you're listing the property, and then let's go from there. So for new agents, definitely learn that you don't have to be salesy because you got to the front door. Your job is 85% done.
And as new agent, here's a little piece of advice that wasn't in there. Don't be offended if somebody doesn't want to work with you, because everybody's personalities don't mesh well together. There's a group or a market for you, and everybody's not for you, and you're not for everybody. So if you have a client and y'all bump heads, let them go and move on to the next.
And here's the thing about rejection. One thing that I like to do is if I do get rejected, because it's happened, not much.
Nice.
But if you do get rejection, don't be scared to ask why, because it might have been um, brand new agent. I remember I went into this lady's house and I went in salesy and I went in hungry. I had all the data, I had everything, and I sat at the kitchen table. We walked around the house. I was there probably like 3 hours talking to this lady, and I gave her all the great real estate advice I could give her, and she ended up going with somebody else. And when I asked her why did she pick somebody else, she said, "Well, it's obvious you knew what you was talking about, but it was also obvious that you never sold anything before." So I learned that I need to cut it down and just give them just enough.
Yep.
So that being said, there's a lot of tips and tricks. There's a lot of things you can do wrong, but just go with your heart and you'll do it right.
Absolutely.
Karima, what we got? Because I think that wraps up the video, right? Was there anything about the video? Hmm? I'm over here with crusty lips. All right, got it. On live. Got me with the crust. Nothing. Relevant. Oh, my side hurts
You just
again.
mix the two letters. Look, I gotta do that in the mirror sometimes too.
No, because I thought it was your accent. That's why I was like, all right. Nah, I mean, so we talked about everything that's happened. So we're coming back and doing this again on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I know that we have a couple restaurants that we're going to check out. So what are those
So George, you want to check out George
in Hampton?
in Hampton,
Mhm.
and
Tell us more about George because you spoke on it slightly earlier, but there's a particular reason why you want to go to George.
oh yeah, I was reading up on it, and apparently the owner, she had a friend. I don't know what the relationship was. She had a friend named George, who was an avid foodie and music lover, and unfortunately, he succumbed to COVID,
Mm.
and so they opened up the restaurant and named it after him and dedicated the restaurant to him. So I would like to go check that one out.
Okay. Okay. What else? What else we got coming up? What we got as far as our mob, man?
We
So
got
so our mob is our minority
Yeah.
owned business highlight. So what we got going on for that?
so we got Scion, Scion, Scion or could coming in next.
Ion.
Ion
Ion
Solar.
Solar.
I said Scion. Oh, well, that's early. Ion Solar. We got
So real quick on
Do
this,
I do name?
on Ion Solar, that's the discussion. If you're a homeowner and you're looking to be energy efficient, definitely look at solar. I'm not going to plug any particular company right now until we do our homework and
Yeah.
we figure out what we would recommend. But definitely look at solar for your homes, and even something as, what is it, water efficient toilet sinks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll have that conversation some other time. But definitely look at solar.
Did you mention that solar is going to become mandatory in the coming years?
I believe that's going to be a conversation for when we get Ion in here. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Mm.
I believe we're going the route of California where in the next 10, 15 years, so it's like 2035 or something like that,
Oh,
where solar's going to be mandated in Virginia.
okay.
So just look out for that, those changes. So if you can get the deal now, get it now, because it is the way of the future. Sustainable energy, going green is the future. So now's the time to go ahead and get into it before you find yourself in a situation where it puts you in a financial bind.
Right.
And something else that we do have to talk about, and this is a question for when what's it, Candace Doherty.
Yeah.
Another question for when she comes in here is, how does that relate? Is that a whole nother bill that adds on to your house? Because I know that was a discussion before. Is if I put solar on my house and I go to sell my house, how does that affect?
So I know I showed a listing on Sunday, and in the agent remarks, they had put solar on
Mhm.
property, and they said that they owed the current owner still owes $46,000 on that solar, and that they pay $150 a month in addition to their mortgage on that solar. So they, made that disclosure.
So
consistent.
right, so that's the thing. If I buy a house, am I credit worthy enough to buy the house and the solar?
Right.
And that's a conversation that when
Yeah.
so that's a conversation that when these solar people come in here, when Miss Doherty comes in here, that we have that question queued up.
Because it could affect your DTI, right?
Yeah, your
And
DTI,
they throw all of that off.
right? Because you're looking at two loans when you purchase
Right.
the house. At least that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And this is a newer field for Virginia and how things are moving. I believe there's a workaround, but I'm interested to hear from them what it is as we do our own research. So I won't go too deep into it, but I will definitely say that solar is moving forward. And
Wave of future.
next time we have this conversation, I'll have more information.
All right, sure.
What
And,
else? What else we got as far as mom?
Creamer, you still got that the barbershop, right? Still got him. You got to go to shoot him.
What's the name of the barbershop? All right, so we're going to highlight revision cuts, Ion Solars. Anything else?
Right.
Mike Japan.
His own trucking business. Gotta get him in there. I'll give you his contact info.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely we can get him in there.
All right.
That's three.
All right.
good.
So yeah, so we got some good highlights, and then we also gonna touch on we got to get Hobby back in here. So Hobby, for those of y'all that actually followed us on our audio podcast, Hobby came in here, dropped a lot of gems on how to maneuver through the insurance world. So we definitely got to get her back in here and talk about insurance and how it can help you build your financial future.
And Hobby has a book club too.
Hey, for those of y'all that don't know, Hobby is an amazing individual. She just lights up, especially when we start talking about money. She books and money, Hobby lights up. So we got to get her in here. Feel like
That's it.
are we missing something?
Oh.
Yeah, we talked about what's coming up. Feel like
I guess shout out to cause it's about to be June. The
Good.
sound competition.
Yeah.
oh,
How's that going?
listen. Okay, so we are still waiting for word from the city, but as far as we're concerned, if the city green lights it or not, we're gonna be in the parking lot regardless.
Yeah.
So, June 24th, starting from 10 going to 6 p.m. Black Line Realty and Reckless Audio are teaming together with some other companies, and we're having a sound competition, a base off, if you will, in the parking lot, the old Kmart parking lot,
Where the fair is right now.
where the current fair is right now, and it is in the corner of Oriana and Ward. So
Okay.
I think that's going to be a good time. It's free to the public. If you want to actually park in the parking lot and you want to compete, it's $35. Motorcycles are definitely welcome. clubs, all that other stuff. Just the only thing we ask is just come with your family, have a good time. That's the only thing we ask. Just come support. Um,
Are we putting together any networking events?
so right now we are talking about networking events. We are actually looking at starting a more localized group for fellow business owners that feel like they're not really being heard. So we're definitely starting that. So for more information, if you want to get more information about local businesses, you're a business owner, and you want to get more information on how you can be part of this network, this group, I don't know what it's called, but we're definitely being very intentional about bringing other smaller businesses together so we could all prosper, because I don't think we do enough talking across the board. So we're definitely doing that. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about?
What's that?
Something big too.
What?
We didn't talk about man, listen, shout out to Maxwell and Maxwell Realty too. We didn't talk about when we went over there and with the NAACP.
Oh, okay. Okay. And
So
with Senator. I
that's
have-
horrible.
I have my note.
Yeah. But not so much the senator as Jennifer,
Yes.
and really taking charge of that group, that I don't know, I don't want to call it that chapter. There it is.
The NAACP chapter?
Right. So at New Grove Baptist Church.
Yes,
Is it Baptist Church?
it is.
Okay. So I want to definitely shout her out. I don't have a last name, but definitely hit us up at and we'll put you in touch if you're trying to get in touch with the NAACP. There's a lot of great organizations out here in walking distance from our office, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the American Legion Post 368.
Yeah, you got the Urban League,
Mm-hmm.
the Black Caucus,
Yeah. So
the Housing Consortium, which we're members of all of those.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to all of those, and I want to thank each and last one of those organizations for allowing us to come and be a part of it. Lastly, the agent highlight. Y'all left out Jordan, huh?
I didn't know though. The exam like.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan been cooking. Jordan definitely been cooking though.
So Jordan's cooking. Gary Bolzer, he went out there. We got his sign in. We're getting his sign in today. He capped. So big shout out to him. He's doing his thing. We have a couple new agents coming in. Karima, she's definitely coming in. She's doing her intern thing. So listen, definitely a shout out, and I appreciate everybody that's on the team, internally and externally. I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. So listen, thank you for coming and listening to us. Is there any last thoughts that you want to put out? I'm going around the room. Royce, our number one engineer, 212. What you got?
I got an event, graduation coming up. Anything, 212 your guy. If you need anything, media, photography, be there for you. So just hit us up on Instagram. Do a little revamp on Instagram. We're over on TikTok. Go to YouTube. Just hit us up, and we'll come out to you. We can come here, have a meeting, and set some up.
All right, and don't forget that you got this the studio that you can come out and run as well. So that's in 10 to 9.
Yeah.
Kramer, you got anything? You want to shout nobody out? You want to shout out Skill Bridge? I'm gonna shout out Skill Bridge. Skill Bridge, thank you the opportunity for letting us be part of the program. If you are an active duty soldier and you're looking at getting out and you're thinking about real estate, please feel free to hit up Black Lion, come through, and we'll help you out with that with the Skill Bridge process. Shan, you got anything?
Yeah, don't forget to like and follow Black Lion on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Black Lion Realty.
Run me my likes, quote unquote Kareem.
Like and follow SMK Property Management on Facebook and Instagram. Royce and Carrie mentioned 10 to 9. Check us out on all the socials. That's it. Just
Oh.
y'all.
And if you want to get in our small business mob, hit up Black Lion. Hit up 212 or Black Lion. We can definitely get you in there.
So is it? I'm sorry. I don't know, but is it organization? Or you like?
I mean, the mob is an organization.
No.
We
Minority.
minority owned businesses, that is the initiative that we, because we're in the community, that we want to make sure that we bring in other business owners to come be part of the conversation. And with that being said, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming out. Royce, you're doing a great job. Karima, you're doing an amazing job. Shan, as usual, you are the backbone.
You're the back.
You're the fluid to the backbone.
Yeah,
You're the
spinal
spinal
cord or
fluid.
something like that.
No, with that being said, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, share. If there's anything that we could do better, let us know. And we're out. Thank you.